This is a public service announcement. The 2023 Grammy Awards show was yet another confirmation we are in the end times, and that they aren't trying to hide anymore who they are, and more importantly, who they serve, which is, of course, Satan. The English singer Sam Smith performed a satanic Illuminati ritual on the telecast. He arrived dressed as a secular rendering of Satan, devil horns, red suit, cartoonish persona, which is not biblical, but a historical distraction to make the real Satan a comic buffoonish figure that no one will take seriously. This wasn't, quote, camp, unquote. This wasn't, quote, art, unquote. This wasn't Sam Smith trying to become the bad boy of pop music, aptly performing a number called Unholy. It was a public confession, a revelation of his true identity and his immoral, evil allegiance. He arrived dressed as the secular rendering of Satan, devil horns, the red suit, the cartoonish persona, which is not biblical, but a clever historical distraction to make the real Satan a comic, buffoonish figure that no one will ever take seriously. And Sam Smith performed in that character. This wasn't, quote, camp, unquote. This wasn't, quote, art, unquote. This isn't him trying to be the bad boy of pop music. Aptly performing a number called Unholy, it was a public confession, a revelation of his true identity and his immoral, evil allegiance. Furthermore, the openly queer Smith arrived on the red carpet and shared the stage duetting with a transgendered artist, because what is more 2023 than the liberal Western obsession with the transgendered? This exaltation of queerness, transgendered people, and the entire LGBT community is not just a political but a deliberately anti-Christian agenda as well. Pummeling the West with these concerns is more than about the usual given tenets of inclusion, acceptance, and compassion. It's satanic as well. Why is it satanic? Because it deliberately violates God's strict mandates about sexuality and purity. Both the Old and New Testament explicitly condemn all things LBGT. Only a handful of sins are labeled as abominations to God, the severest penalties. Guess what is signaled out in Leviticus 18:22, in Leviticus 20:13, 1 Corinthians 6:9 through 11, for example. The famous saying goes that the greatest thing the devil ever did was convince the world that he doesn't exist. Well, Satan exists. He has always existed, for the Bible tells us so, as the old hymnal goes. He is real and almost all-powerful, though his autonomy over this world is granted by God. He is the force of this world, and he demands to be worshipped. Which Hollywood and the music industry do to our faces. If your eyes are wide shut, you never see it. If your eyes have been opened, you know that they used to operate hiding in plain sight. But now they have become increasingly bold and are literally rubbing our faces in their Luciferian worship. Yes, the llluminati exists. Yes, the New World Order exists. And yes, Satan himself exists. Everything which is degenerate, decaying, and morally corrosive in this world originates with his ungodly purposes to finally emerge as the Antichrist. Sam Smith is decadent enough in his own right. He's not only out, but in. In is a pawn to the Luciferian agenda. And yes, he is certainly a groomer. Not only is he a groomer for the youth to blindly accept a sexual stance willfully disobedient to the commandments of God, but now he's an industry pawn promoting Satan as the dark messiah and the do what thou wilt manifesto as a preferable alternative to Christianity. He already was unholy. He just further added to his hellish destiny.